The Control of Blood pH Within the Human Body by Richard Francis. Maintenance of a stable environment within our bodies is essential for the maintenance of life as we know it. Some examples of internal parameters that our bodies keep tightly regulated include temperature, glucose levels, oxygen levels, and blood pH. pH, also known as potential hydrogen or power of hydrogen, can be simply defined as the concentration of hydrogen ions within a solution, and is measured on a logarithmic scale between 0 to 14. Lower pH represents the presence of more hydrogen ions and a more acidic solution, while a higher pH represents the presence of less hydrogen ions and a more basic solution. Neutral pH is pH 7. Both hydrogen ions and carbon dioxide are common waste products produced by tissues and cells during normal metabolic processes, and like all waste products they need to be removed to prevent their toxic accumulations. Acidosis or acid overload occurs when hydrogen ion concentration within the body becomes too high and the blood pH falls below 7.35. This is a life-threatening condition as many chemical reactions essential for life are pH dependent and start to fail when pH levels become too unbalanced. Blood is the main route for removing toxic metabolic byproducts such as hydrogen ions and carbon dioxide. Hydrogen ions move down their concentration gradient from cells and tissues where they produced and into the blood for ultimate removal. It is critical that this movement of hydrogen ions into the blood does not cause the blood pH to change, as acid blood or acidosis is disease-causing and could cause death. Thus, the pH of blood is tightly regulated between 7.35 and 7.45. During normal activity, the most important mechanism for regulating blood pH is the bicarbonate buffer system. This system can be described by the equilibrium reactions shown here. Elevation of hydrogen ions within the blood caused elevated hydrogen ion binding to bicarbonate ions, which results in a shift of the equilibrium reaction to the right. This causes a subsequent increase in water and carbon dioxide production, which effectively reduces the amount of hydrogen ions present. Please note that this equilibrium reaction can also work in the opposite direction if blood pH becomes too basic and raises above pH 7.45. Carbonic acid unbinds hydrogen ions, allowing hydrogen ion concentrations to rise, which brings blood pH back to within the normal range. Ultimately, the kidneys remove waste hydrogen ions from the body by active excretion of acids into the urine. The kidneys also play a critical role in blood pH regulation by establishing and maintaining the bicarbonate buffer system by resorbing filtered bicarbonate ions from the urine back into the blood, thus maintaining the large pool of blood bicarbonate ions required to buffer changes in pH ion concentrations. However, the kidney excretion of hydrogen ions is a relatively slow process and cannot prevent acute acidosis resulting from sudden increases in hydrogen ion production caused by exercise. During strenuous activity, for example exercise, the production of hydrogen ions is generally too great for the bicarbonate buffer system alone to effectively regulate blood pH. Thus, the lungs are used as a fast response system to help regulate blood pH. When hydrogen ion levels start to peak and blood pH drops too low, the body increases breathing rate to increase carbon dioxide removal from the body. The removal of carbon dioxide from the bicarbonate buffer equilibrium pulls the equilibrium reaction to the right, resulting in hydrogen ion levels to rapidly fall as they become bound to bicarbonate ions, thus reducing hydrogen ion levels and elevating blood pH back to within normal range. Other buffer systems exist that perform more minor roles in the regulation of blood pH. The phosphate buffer system consists of phosphoric acid in equilibrium with dihydrogen phosphate ions and hydrogen ions. Similar in nature to the bicarbonate buffer system, elevated levels of hydrogen ions causes a shift in the equilibrium reaction to the right, which effectively sequesters the hydrogen ions into phosphoric acid molecules. However, this system only plays a minor role in regulating blood pH because phosphate ion concentration in the blood is very low. Finally, hemoglobin can also bind hydrogen ions, buffering changes to pH. During exercise, hemoglobin helps buffer blood pH by binding excess hydrogen ions generated in muscles while at the same time releasing much needed oxygen for elevated muscle activity.